Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Your host, Adil. Today we're gonna talk about Silent Hill F and how the story it's appeared differently from what we see in Silent Hill 2 remake and also other Silent Hill we know in the market for so not just that. The main idea is the combat. The combat is one of the things we're gonna talk about how to change from Silent Hill 2 remake. It's very fascinating things never see in other games. Not just that, we're gonna see how this combat is versus Dark Soul. Not just that, we're gonna talk about how this game is very good in using weapons because it's kind of something you have to shoot from the game and your own what you want to fight is your own. And not just that, we're gonna talk about how this game is first 9 because it's in the market for so and it's both of them are the best horror games ever made in the time, 30 years until now. It's so good to see these two games changing by the time. So how we can talk about it? No, soon enough. Which one like, which one dislike, which one you think is gonna be the best one day to be the master of horror in game? The story talk about Honiko in 1960, and this game is better to be for 21 and above because have a lot of blood and some kind of horror thing. Kids cannot understand because the Japanese ways is so different and it's different than Silent Hill 2, even in the masters and even when you got Silent Hill come a nightmare. The story, as we say, is for Koniko. She lived with her parents and her big sister. There is jealousy between the two sisters, and also her father is wealthy and very mean. Not just that, and he's very drunk all the time. So we will see the story how she affected by her family, and she always want to run away to her friends that she thought friends. I never thought this game it will turn as something very close to what we know in horror animation and movies from the Japanese style. And we will see how she like her friends, but her friends kinda do things to her, mean things. jealousy, even the girl. And the boys may be scared for her. If she gets mad, he will tell her father, and he will talk to the council, because this village is one of the head, let's say, business people. So they're scared from her. It's one of the good stories I ever seen in a game. You know, I play a lot of games, horror, drama. I never see such a story like this. It let me feel that I'm watching an animation Japanese movie or TV series from animation manga. It's have all the elements of what we see in the Japanese for a long time. And not just that, even the masters are from the Japanese mythology. And also how they build the script, the storyline, it's changing every time move on in the game. I know there is a lot of gamers show in YouTube that they finish the game in 8 hours, 9 hours, but I'm telling you, this game you have to have time to play it, because have a lot of clues. Even you finish it in 8 hours, that you very strong, very knowledge about horror game, you need the time to finish this game, because there's puzzles. It will take you time.
ひなこ。あ、ごめん。何？裏切りも。
But if you finish it in time, like today it's the launch day, so good luck. But you have to know that this game is really having too much things. Like this scene now, at the bloody scene, she died. Like there's like a virus in her, look, the pimples, and she died immediately in front of her friends. This kind of idea, her friends are really mean to her. That story will change, because how her friends do mean to her. We know as teenagers in high school, middle school, the teenager always jealous from each other, sometimes even kids. So this story really will show you how things in the real world, in high school especially. So this story also, it showed me something in the Ring 1989. The look of this girl, or the Japanese animation. If you watch all these kind of things, you will know that the story is built with the Japanese way in all things. So it will change between worlds, between the reality and the world. Not like Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill is really in one place, in one dimension. But this story is different. Like the scene, watch it closely and you know it's something different than Silent Hill.
あなたは死んでくれる？どうして私に死んでほしいの？清水ひな子から生まれ変わることができるかもしれない。私以外のものになりたいってこと？どうして私として生きていたくないの？幸せなこと 辛いこと、大切なこと、嫌なこと、全部たくさん考えて絶望したから。もっと前向きな言い方をしよう。ひなのままいつまでも暮らせるわけがない。巣の中でひなのまま親鳥に食べさせてもらって、大好きなお友達といつまでも遊べる日々が永遠に続くわけがない。寒い冬が訪れれば親鳥たちは巣を捨てて旅立つ。大好きなお友達だって飛び方を覚えた順に旅立っていく。後には誰も残らない。周りの巣はみんな空っぽに。親鳥たちも友達もみんな旅立っていってしまった。残ったのは自分だけ。やめて。今ある幸せと必ず訪れる孤独な冬をすべて足し算引き算して私なりに考えたの。やめて。嫌なの、怖いの、恐ろしいの。わかるよ。やだよね、怖いよね。でも一番怖いのはこのまま冬が。そんなの分かってる。分からない、分かりたくない、考えたくない。それでいいの。耳を塞いでわめいていることが選択でいいの。それがあんたの選択なら私はあんたに死んでもらう。容赦しないからね。嫌ならあんたが生きたいっていう覚悟を見せてよ。決意を見せて。逃げるのではなく耳を塞ぐのではなく、しっかり私を殺してあんたが生き残って、あんたこそ私を殺して私より幸せになれるっていう絶対に約束ができるの。怖いんでしょ本当は。怖いよ。私だってすごく怖い。でも今優しい人だっていつか変わるかもしれない。お父さんでさえ昔は笑ってたって言うんだよ。でも恐怖に怯えることは選択じゃない。目を開けろ。考えるのをやめるな。自分の幸せを誰かに決めさせるんじゃない。清水ひな子、お前はひなだが翼はある。私が勇気を与えるから。だからお前が翼をくれ。
The combat. The combat is very close to Resident Evil and Silent Hill. The running, let's say, not fast enough, but it kind of a style of Konami and a style of, let's say, the studio who made Silent Hill 2. So we would know it's a classic thing. But this kind of classic, it will change when you go to the boss fight. I like how she go from place to place with the running. And even it's versus what we see in Resident Evil 9 and other games in horror, or let's say drama, especially horror. Like it's different than Dead Space, but this game is more to animation. Dead Space more to realistic, even in using the gun. And in this story, there's no gun, like Silent Hill 2 or Resident Evil. You have a hammer, a sword, something like that in combat. And there is maybe some tree or something that you can. Maybe there is a tree. I'll be out over kills. But there is something like you're gonna be like foxed or half werewolf. In the storyline, you see it later in this talk. So let's see behind the scene for 7 minutes, and you will see how they made the story and how it's world different than Silent Hill 2 remake.
サイレントヒルは西洋ホラーと和風ホラーのエッセンスが融合したシリーズでしたが、シリーズを重ねていくごとに和風ホラーのエッセンスが失われていったように感じています。そこで一層和風ホラーのエッセンス 100% のサイレントヒルを作ってみたいという気持ちが出てきました。和風のサイレントヒルを作るなら日本やアジアの制作チームが良いと考えており、そのタイミングでネオバーズさんと出会いました。日本の大手パブリッシャーともいくつか仕事をしており、コミュニケーションも円滑に取れる良いチームだと感じました。
你把我们这个团队在一起工作也有快20年的时间了，很高兴过去的作品能被冈本制作人看见，因而促成了这一次的合作。团队中有很多成员都是 Silent Hill 以及龙骑士老师的粉丝，我们也开始与 Konami 来回的讨论，如何发展在日式的氛围下又延续 Silent Hill 精神的游戏体验。
With the major thematic shift, it was absolutely critical for us to not merely copy, but really understand what the key atmospheric elements that define the classic Silent Hill titles were, in order to evolve them for F. So we spent a lot of time iterating and discussing between NeoBards and Konami on how to bring that uneasy charm and loneliness of Ebisugaoka to life. Keeping in tradition with the Silent Hill series, our protagonist Hinako is also designed to be an ordinary person. However, it was crucial to us to have fun and interesting gameplay. For Silent Hill F, the team spent a lot of time focusing on creating a combat system that would feel both fresh but familiar, yet also be thematically appropriate and not overly complex.
サイレントヒル F の舞台はサイレントヒルという街ではなく日本になりましたが、精神世界の中で自分自身と向かい合っていくサイコロジカルホラーである点は変わっていません。サイコロジカルホラーである点を踏まえながら和風ホラーのエッセンスを強化していきました。和風ホラーの特徴は単純なグロテスクさではなく、美しいものとおぞましいものが共存していることです。美しいがゆえにおぞましいというコンセプトで作っています。
As a key concept in Silent Hill F is the idea of beauty and terror. We created our visual designs to have a distinct uneasiness to them, but also have a horrific charm that would make it so you just couldn't stop staring. In this matter, we were extremely fortunate to be able to work with Kara-san to design our key character art, as their designs perfectly suited the ideal of beauty and terror.
時代設定を昭和にした理由ですが、今回の物語のテーマをより高いコントラストで描ける舞台や環境、時代はどれだろうかと吟味した上で選びました。今から半世紀も前の時代ということもあり、 確かに私たちの現代とつながっているにもかかわらず、現代では忘れ去られた風習や迷信を残しているという地続きの異世界でもあります。そのあたりも楽しんでいただけると幸いです。
Another key reason we chose this time frame and location was that there were many, many elements we could draw from that would both feel familiar yet alien to many players, supporting that sense of uneasiness.
在设计关卡的时候，我们先以金山町的金谷区为基础，然后再挑选一些代表性的日式场景，例如果子屋、学校、神社等等，这些具有昭和感的场景，能让关卡更充满日式氛围。当然，我们没有忘记 Silent Hill 的里世界，这是这个 IP 一个非常重要的元素。我们经过了很多次的讨论跟调整，再搭配龙骑士的剧情，才造就了属于本作的关卡体验。我相信对亚洲的玩家来说，这些日式场景应该不陌生，但对西方的玩家而言，我觉得这些都是非常有吸引力的地点。我们希望借由这款游戏，让更多玩家体验日式独特的美学与设計。
これまでのサイレントヒルでは描かれなかったタイプのテーマに挑戦しています。自分では十分にサイレントヒルで描くにふさわしいテーマと思っておりますが、ふさわしいかどうか皆さんのご判断をいただければと思います。ネオバーズさんとは演出や表現についてとにかくたくさんのやり取りをさせていただきました。シナリオ側から伝えたいことは全て受け止めていただけたと思っています。
One of our core development goals was to make sure Ryukishi-san's unique storytelling characteristics were completely preserved. Because the flow and pacing of a script is very, very different than that of a playable game, there was a lot of discussion and iteration between our teams on what things would need to be adjusted, why they would need to be adjusted, and how to best go about it. For instance, something we had to consider was the flow of the levels in relation to the story, such as when to push players along, when to give them the freedom to explore. In order to present Ryukishi-san's lore in the most suitable way, we'd organize what information would fit best where, such as through environmental storytelling, secondary information such as a note you'd pick up during gameplay, characterization through animations, VO, etc., etc. And of course, what parts would be most suitable as a cutscene.
本作的叙事设计，我认为有一个原有的核心与两个崭新的面貌。原有的核心指怎么延续3 Hero 特有的战力与恐怖，崭新的面貌则是龙骑士老师笔下的剧情搭配本次的 gameplay 玩法设计。什么部分让玩家在游玩中直接去感受压力，什么时候则透过镜头与构图去投射恐惧。本作这一次从西方来到了日本，除了环境的面貌外，我们也希望演出的部分能让玩家有相同的文化感受。
You're gonna love the scenes, or they call it the cutscenes, the storyline cutscene. It's so good that it's different even than Silent Hill 2 remake and games we know in the market. It looks like you're watching a movie or animation movie from the Japanese style. I know the movement of the camera is same in each game we know in PlayStation or Xbox or PC, but this is the way of third person. Maybe there is a first person shooter in this game. I don't know yet, but the story, it will let you play the game, even it's hard. It will let you feel like you want to know what's next. It's have very long cutscenes, well done cutscenes, mystery cutscenes. It will let you know what's gonna happen in the storyline, and what will explain to you what did happen before. It will show you how her friends, it's really good or not. And also there is more than two what they call it ending in this game. I don't know if there's three ending, but if you look here closer, you will know that she fall down from her friend. Even the walk, it will let you feel that she did it. But Honiko is very what they call it, very soft girl, that she's not gonna blame her friend because she's not mean like them. She's a good girl, as they say, innocent, trying to survive in this world, survive from her family. So I'm so speechless to see this thing in Friends, you know. They blame in her heads to control her. See what she did. She don't like her at all of being here. She want her to die, as that scene appeared, that herself say, you should die. So the story is really in horror style, and also her appearance. See the cutscene, she remember her face. So that's, it will show you more of thing in the story, how that happened. So you have to pay attention the storyline, and you can play it as English or Japanese. And you know the Japanese subtitle or Japanese language, it will take your attention if you love the Japanese animations and movie. Very interesting. And also the story is different than you see in Asian horror animation.
相棒、妙な化け物が増えてる気がしないか？
お前の宇宙戦争だって妙な宇宙人がどんどん増えてっただろうが。
ひなこって柊君と話すときは男の子みたいな喋り方だよね。
昔の癖が今も抜けないからかな。
俺たちは幼い頃からの付き合いだからな。
だから男女の関係にはならなかったってわけ。
今はそんな話をしてる時じゃないぞ。行こう。
Let's talk about the boss versus Dark Souls. I mean, the style of the combat in this game and Dark Souls. Dark Souls, it's same exactly what happened here, but a little bit different than the movement of Dark Souls games. But very close that this game have very big monsters. Not big like the Dark Souls, but different than Silent Hill 2. In Silent Hill 2, you will see that some monsters are higher or taller than the main character. And here, it's something we see in Resident Evil. In Resident Evil 4, mostly. Resident Evil 3 Remake. Resident Evil 2 Remake. And the movies of Resident Evil. In Silent Hill, all the history, we never see a movie have this thing. If this turned to a movie, it will be one of the best horror films in Japan and even the world, that it's changing things and already changing things in the gaming history. because the combat is kinda Dark Soul, but little bit newer, not like old school thing. So you can heal yourself. If you play, they call it Elder Ring. This is not like Elder Ring. It might be like Dark Soul, but not 100% as Dark Soul. You have to know that it's different, and the healing is different, and even the combat different, but it's very close to the idea of the Dark Soul. So you have to pay attention 1 time, 2 times to see that. Look at the movement here. It's not so different of Dark Soul. Not so different and so similar. So it's kind of close if you pay attention to that. Not just that. See this wall, how it appears like blood? It's like you're in The Shining. So there's an element of horror in each things in this game. It will keep you surprised from the monsters, from the what you appear in the different dimension of her dreams. Because in Silent Hill story, she will go inside Silent Hill nightmare. So this is the nightmare exactly. Like she feel that she is in a different dimension. When she's in her dimension, you will see her clothes, it's been turned, that you will see her hand, but there is no hand of, like, say, master like this. Look at this scene of the fight. If you really play the Dark Soul games, you would know this is very close. Look how's the fight. Exactly Dark Soul. You don't see that in Silent Hill. You see that in Dark Soul or Resident Evil. Especially Resident Evil 4, the remake. And even Resident Evil 3. But mostly in Resident Evil 4 remake. You will see the how is the fight between Leon and other bosses. So this is matching the idea of Resident Evil. Because in Silent Hill 2, even you see ceiling falling down or walls changing or hammer heads coming to you. This game don't have hammerhead. It will appear to you or like that, because they have to change it from the mythology of horror, let's say American, or let's say the American ways in horror, to the Japanese style. So the Japanese style have to be different than the Western we know. But it have the same element of Silent Hill 2 remake. But it's different in its way of the Japanese. That's what they talk about in the documentary so minutes ago. You can watch that documentary in YouTube. I'm gonna put it for you also in the description that you can watch it. But you have to pay attention that this story it's not for kids. Because also here he's using drugs. So you have to pay attention that don't take drugs in any kind, even pain drugs or headache drugs or any kind of drug without description, because here it will show you that she's using that a lot. And we know that in high school, some kids using some drugs. So be attention. This game is not for kids. And this is the scene that show us that she's having a sword, the Japanese sword. One of the ways in this game using this sword, like the animation movies or the TV series. Look at this scene. It's different than we see in Silent Hill and even Resident Evil. In Resident Evil, the cutscene's not like this, especially Resident Evil 4. It's not long. In here, you have very long cutscene, and that's make it different. I know the fog is in this game a lot because you're talking about Silent Hill. So, and this village, it's in the hills, so there's fog. And in Japan, there's a lot of jungles, or let's say forest. So in the mountains, in the winter, there's fog. So in here, you're gonna use your map a lot to go to these bosses fight. The bosses fight is fascinating if you play any game in horror or even RPG. This is like an RPG horror with the style of Dark Souls. You'll see it in any game of Dark Souls, like very big monster is appearing to you and you have to fight your way to kill him somehow, or you'll die in one hit. You can play this game, I think, as normal mode or easy, but you can play as a survivor. You can take out the damage of the boss that you feel like your own strength, your own experience. The menu, we'll talk about it when I have the game soon. And because it's coming close to October, we're gonna play a lot of horror games. But the horror games started for October. Look at the scene, how really rich in ideas of animations. And look, her father and her mother changed to human. So the story is different than what we see in Silent Hill 2 remake. And also, it will let you go around a lot in the story to find out what happened to your friends and family. So this is one of the biggest fight in the game. You'll see, oh, this is different than what we see in Resident Evil. I mean, how to fight this guy with a lot of soul? And look at the environment. You are in a dream or nightmare. So you fight this guy in the nightmare to save your friend. she gonna save him? It's up to her. She can kill him or save him. This kind of monster, it's the mythology of Japanese. It's based in samurai or demon samurai with a lot of swords. I mean, even it's looks like Mortal Kombat, that guy with the forearm. So they make something different than what we see in even the mythology. Maybe very close to the mythology, some Japanese monsters or demons. There's a lot of them, more than let's say Western mythology. If you go to Greek as God of War, you'll see a lot of monsters different than this game. If you watch Death Note, the TV series, you'll know there's a lot of demons. Go watch the Death Note TV series. You will see how things in the demon time, so you can compare with this game. So as a gamer and filmmaker, my job is to show you things. So this is one of the things I'm showing you, that you watch the scene of how this fight will show how strong this demon. So one of the things I have a doubt in here, if you don't have a healing, you'll die. So it's appearing that there's not too much healing around you if you choose survivor. So the mood you choose, it will give you the power to heal yourself and to stop this monster. It's up to you. Also, you have superpower of the demon to stop him.
Thank you, Aigo. その言葉で俺は完成したぜ。
ありがとう。
琴幸さん、俺の相棒。
This is one of the ending. So beautiful. A beautiful cutscene. The monster going up.
Hinako, our beautiful girl. Come on, dear. Look at her.
This isn't your home anymore. Even if you come back alone, I won't expect to be let inside.
In here, she's suffering of the dreams she dream about. So she have to have a reality and nightmare at the same time. This is never done even in other games of horror. It might be like the Western horror as Insidious, if you watch this movie, or The Conjuring, or 666 as the demon son. So here, the mythology of the nightmare, in the Japanese way, it will keep you mystery, changing. It will make attention of your feeling when you're playing. It's not like other what we see in animation even. It's something done well. It's like they take a lot of years to make this. Look at the surrounding of each things in the design. You'll see that each thing have a meaning of the mythology, especially in this temple. The colors make you that you are entering a nightmare.
Impossible. You still cling to life.
And this scene, one of the scenes, it will show you that really
How could you be on their side?
you want
You
to
don't
have
understand how I
the
feel.
ability to watch.
Calm down. Do you understand why you're here? Think. I don't know. Where am I? I don't like it here. It feels bad. I want to go home. What is that? How long have you been taking those? Is it really okay for you to take them? Yes, I'm fine. These things help me calm down. Stop that right now! You shouldn't take those anymore. Leave me alone.
The ending so good and so, you know, I never thought something like this would show in this game. Ending so different than any horror game we see, even from Resident Evil or Silent Hill 2. Very strong horror mystery ending. Watch closer, see.
You took everything from me. Sakuko, Rinko, and Joe. You even took my parents. I want myself back. Give back everything you've taken.
Yonikawa 2 to HQ. We've got 2 male victims here. Same female suspect as in the wedding massacre on Route 8. One victim is currently in cardiac arrest.
Kagerocho 1 to HQ. We haven't found the knife used by the suspect at the scene. Chances are good that it's still in the suspect's possession. Better consider her armed. Over.
Attention all apartments. This is HQ. Female suspect is in her 20s and wearing a wedding dress. Height is a little over 160 centimeters. Last seen fleeing Tsuneyoshi Shrine. Believed to be armed and highly dangerous. Exercise extreme caution.
Come in, HQ. This is Kagerocho 1. It appears the suspect was observed consuming red and white capsules at the scene of the crime.
Kagerocho 1, this is HQ. Do the capsules match the ones discovered at the wedding venue? Over.
HQ, this is Kagerocho 1. Affirmative. Collected capsules the suspect dropped.
Silent Hill versus Resident Evil 9. From 30 years in PlayStation 1, these two games, these two studios, they're forcing each other of the combat, storyline, characters, each single thing. Even the element of horror, the element of surprise. Silent Hill, because the fog has become one of the hardest thing to make in the history of gaming. It was like a glitching thing and become one of the best fog ever made in games for Silent Hill. Resident Evil have its own thing. Who's the one is gonna win this year? To me, is Silent Hill F. No doubt. But one of the things in Silent Hill F is, to me, it's kinda hard to do, is the walking and the running. A little bit of the combat, that you're using a hammer or you're using a pipe, using a sword to fight. Instead of Resident Evil, we see that we use a gun or a machine gun. But in Resident Evil 9, maybe there's no gun. Never know. Because in the, what they call it, gameplay demo we saw, there is no gun yet. So it will be different or close to Silent Hill F. In Resident Evil 9, it the third person from her head to the middle of her body. You cannot see the legs like Silent Hill F. So it's the style of Resident Evil. You see it in Resident Evil 4, 3 and 2 in the remake. And if you play Resident Evil 8, as they call it, third person, you'll see it's the same thing. But first person, different. That you'll see the hand and if there's a gun. So which one is gonna be the best? Up to you. But to me, Silent Hill F the best. About Silent Hill, I can say it will let you feel that you want to play the game. In Resident Evil, if it's not open world as they say, it's a rumor. I have no idea it's gonna be or not. But to me, it's gonna be good, but disappointing if it's not open world, because we need to have an open world people to go around from a place to a place. Even the master, the running is different than Silent Hill. I think in here it is much faster than Silent Hill F, the character Oniko. The design is different because we are in the United States and that in Japan. I love the Japanese places, especially Assassin's Creed Shadow.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. Special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
So thank you for watching. I will see you soon in Silent Hill F.
Investigating all these
or
strange
Resident
deaths, huh?
9.
We need to keep our voices down.
Have
or
you seen
other
the same
games.
shit I've seen?
Father with you, right here.
Please know that you are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
Stay away from that!